Hi engineers, in this video I'm going to show you how to enter data into the mass assembly spreadsheet that we've provided for you to determine how fast and profitable your assembly line is. And recall from the directions that each of these little individual slips should be cut out, and there should be a stack of slips that corresponds to the station that goes with that part of the car being built. So, for example, if you were the person that's in charge of building the wheels, you would have a stack of slips that are just related to station 1. And then after you're done building your first part of the coupe, which are the wheels, then you would send that part of the car down to the next station, where at station 2, they will complete the next part of the car. Then it gets passed down to the next station, and so on and so forth. So we should have little stacks of completed slips that tell what vehicle you made and whether it's number 1, number 2, number 3, and so on. And then most importantly, for this part of the analysis, how long it took you to make that part of the car. When we did this activity in classrooms, some students, when they were entering the data into the spreadsheet, decided to put all of the station 1 slips together, and some students chose to take all of the slips from each individual car and put them together. That is up for you, efficiency experts, to decide what is the fastest and best way to enter the data. That's really up to you. But for the purposes of this video, I put all of the assembly slips for each car together so that I can show you how to fill up the spreadsheet. But again, you do not have to do it in the order that I am doing it. So this is an image of the data spreadsheet. And you'll notice, first of all, that at the bottom of the spreadsheet, there are tabs for each type of car that you are going to make. We're going to ignore this one for just a minute and just look at the tabs for the 3 different types of cars that you have been producing. And I'm going to start with the coupe. And again, you can enter this data in any order that you see fit. That is why we hired you, right? Because you guys are here to figure it out for us. I'm just using this video to show you where all of the information goes. So as you can see, I have a set of slips put together for the same coupe that was passed down the assembly line, because they all say coupe number 1. So this was the first coupe that went down the assembly line, completed anyway, and that's important here. You should not be entering data for any coupes that failed any of the quality tests, because that had to go to scrap. We can't use that one. So if you have any that failed, you should not be entering data for any of those vehicles. So we have all of the slips that go with a coupe that was successfully assembled. And here is a little more up-close view of the spreadsheet. So you'll see that it says coupe. So we know we're looking at a coupe. So that matches our slip. This says station 1. And we're looking at the slip for station 1. And it says car number 1, which goes here with coupe number 1. So that means that the time that we spent building the wheels for coupe number 1 needs to go right here in this cell, because it is the right station for the right model of vehicle, and it's the first vehicle that we successfully constructed. And also please pay attention to the fact that it says we need to enter the time in seconds. So right now, I know a lot of stopwatches don't tell us seconds, and that's why our lapse time says a minute and 10 seconds. So we have to convert that into seconds, which means, of course, it's going to be 70 seconds because we are converting that minute and 10 seconds into seconds. So the lapse time for the first coop that was made at station 1 of 70 seconds needs to go right here in this cell. So now we need to enter the data for station 2 of coop number 1, and we need to put that elapsed time into our spreadsheet. So we are not going to put it here because this is station 1, not station 2. We also need to change this one to seconds also. So it's going to be 75 seconds. And that 75 seconds needs to go in station 2 of the coop at car number 1. So that means we need to put it right here because, again, this is our initial shot at just seeing how the system works. And then I'll bet you can see where we're going with this. The next one, so the next station would be coop number 1 at station 3, and we need to put the time of 45 seconds. So we're going to go on the spreadsheet to station 3, car number 1, and we're going to put that 45 seconds right here in that cell. And then you'll continue that process filling in the initial, because this is our very first test run we did, for each of the cars going in order. So just like real engineers, this is a lot of work. So we suggest that you use a Google Sheet instead of Excel so that every team member can be filling in a part of their spreadsheet as they go. But it's super important to make sure you remember, don't fill in anything that's colored because those all have formulas already written to help analyze the data. You should only be typing information into the gray boxes for you to input data, and make sure you're sticking to the correct simulation or the trial run. So make sure that you're only putting stuff in the first time you do it under this column. Now, once you get to fix our system, which is kind of a mess, that's why we hired you, because we need your help, then you'll fill it in for the revisions that you make for us the next time around. And these formulas will help you to help us figure out how we can make it better. And you'll go through the same procedure for every sedan that you make. So sedan number 1, station 1, you would put the amount of time it took you to build the wheels right here where it says station 1 of the sedan under initial next to car number 1. And you'll do the same thing for the van. Once you've filled in the time that it took at each station to build each of your 3 different models of car, so you should have hit all 3 of these tabs that I've just marked at the bottom, it's now time to analyze the cost. Well, not analyze it yet, sorry. Just tabulate the cost. So you're going to go to this tab on the spreadsheet that says cost profit. And the information is on this tab for all 3 cars, but for the purposes of this video, I will just focus on the coupe. And again, you'll see that the only cells you need to fill in are the gray ones. You do not need to fill in any of the colored ones because those contain formulas to help you analyze. And for the initial run, this information is given to you because it's the way that the company does it currently. So all you need to type in here is that you had one builder at station 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and that you had a quality engineer and a supply station engineer. And for the time that they worked, that's what this column is, you are going to put how long the simulation lasted, because you've got to have these people on the clock working the entire time, because even if the quality engineer hasn't actually checked anything at the very beginning, they're still on staff waiting to get the first completed vehicle. We've recommended a building time of 30 minutes. So if that's the amount of time that the teacher has given you, then this time that the quality engineer and the supply engineer is working is 30 minutes. But remember that we need to enter time in seconds. So that means if you use 30 minutes, you need to multiply it by 60 so that we get the number of seconds. But again, it's entirely up to you how long the simulation lasts. And I guess by you, I mean the teacher. So if the 30-minute time is used, we should be entering 1800 because those engineers were on staff for 1800 seconds. Now, after you, the efficiency experts, help us to fix our system and make it more efficient, you might decide, for example, that we need 2 people at the supply station instead of 1. So then you are more than welcome to change that in the revision round. So you might put 2 employees, but still make sure that you put the entire time of the simulation here under the time and that you put it in seconds. The other piece of information, or pieces of information, that you will need to put into the spreadsheet are here with the cost. So raw material cost per car. In our materials, if you do it the way that we've designed it, each individual piece of plastic brick for the coupe, for example, is $3.18. So you'll enter that there. We've decided for the first run that you would just pay people $1 a minute. So if you want to change that, you can, but that is pre-populated into the spreadsheet. And the sale price of the car is given on the safety and efficiency guidelines paper, the same one where you had to say how much the vehicle had to weigh and how big and how wide and long the base needed to be. And if you use the numbers that we've given you, the coupe, for example, has a sale price of $9. So you'll enter that $9 there. But in your next round, if you decide to change anything, that's great. That's why we hired you, to help us figure out a better way to do it. So if you change the number of parts it takes to make a car to make it a little bit cheaper, make sure that you add up those prices and put that new total here in the raw material cost. And please make sure if you decide even to change the sales part, keep in mind that our industry experts, our marketing team, determined how much people are going to pay. But I understand that everything's getting expensive. So maybe you decide to change that sale price too. Those are in gray, so you can change them if you want. But you could just use the sale price that's given to you at any time. In another video, we will show you how to analyze all of the information that you're going to get from all the colored pieces of information and the formulas. But for now, please feel free to ask if you have any questions.